Dave Simon and his co-hosts are completing the remaining finishing touches for tonight's episode. If you are watching the replay, you can skip to the 4-minute and 54-second mark to get to Dave's intro. While you are waiting, watching live, take a look at the news and articles about pro wrestling and MMA from The Authority, the Ringside Report Network. Our website is at ringsidereport.net. That's ringsidereport.net.
Please wait. Hold on. Keep waiting. Almost done. 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 Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Please wait. Hold on. Keep waiting. Almost done. 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 Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment. Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Welcome to today's broadcast from the Ringside Report Network.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
If you became a return supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. While you are waiting, watching live, take a look at the news and articles about pro wrestling and MMA, and while there, check out our exclusive merch, including great jiu-jitsu gear from the Ringside Report Network. Our website is at ringsidereport.net. It's ringsidereport.net.
Subscriber is speaking at the moment.
Yes, it's Ringside Report MMA. Tonight on the show, Is Jon Jones retiring? Nate Diaz has to leave a TV show after the first day of shooting, and Conor McGregor will not fight in 2025.
Let's go!
Ooh,
Wow,
hey,
that's pretty cool.
that's new.
Wow.
What's up, boys?
That was
We're
pretty
here
nice,
live.
man.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
The graphics team really went, they're really going out of their way, man. That's awesome. What's up, boys?
How you doing, AJ?
Losing my voice. What the hell?
Oh, it's not good. Freddie, living it up.
Always.
So,
Tell us, Dave. Tell us, bud.
yeah, that's it. Good night.
Good night, guys. It was a good show. See you later, bud. Let's break the record for the quickest show. That's what she said to you, George.
Yep. Wow. Wow.
Happy
So-
birthday, by the way. It's George's birthday, man.
Today?
When was it, Fred?
Yes, yesterday or 2 days ago.
Happy birthday, George.
George Rush St. Pierre, 44, May 19th.
Wow, 44 already.
3 days
Jeez.
ago.
The
May
welterweight
19th. That's the same
champion
day
of
as
the
my wife.
world. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's
Wow.
right. Happy birthday.
Big day. Big day.
Now you'll never forget it.
Whatever happened to GSP doing the submission grappling for UFC? Remember that?
Yeah, but he got
was
hurt,
like-
right?
Yeah,
It
he
was
got
his
hurt.
knee, I
But,
think.
yeah, but that was like years ago. Wasn't it?
And he's in top shape, dude. He's training like as if he's going to the Olympics. It just doesn't make sense.
I feel like that was supposed to be in like December 2023.
Yeah, and who was he supposed to fight at that point?
Nick Diaz?
There was
Was it supposed to
rumors
be
of
Nick?
Damian Maya. There was like nothing never became official, I think. It
No.
was all rumors.
There were Nick Diaz rumors, though, which would have been fun in a grappling match.
Well, it must have been like the money thing, I'm sure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Nick is in a great place right now.
No.
My
Now,
money would
probably
have been
not.
on George.
Sad, man. Sad.
I would like to see GSP do a submission grappling thing, but I guess, at 44, like, at a certain point, even for GSP, you go, all right.
Well, if he's grappling guys around his age as well, it would be the Masters division, right?
Yeah.
So if he's fighting like a guy like Damian Maya, or even like, how old is Nick? Nick is what, 38?
It's
must
probably
be around
close to
there, right?
40 also, but
Close
But
to
I think
40,
when
so
it-
it's...
when it comes to George, man, it's more about like commitment because George doesn't go half on anything. Like if he's gonna commit to a grappling match, he's gonna treat that as if it's like the only thing that matters. And does George really want to do that right now? Maybe not. Like that's my opinion. Like maybe George, like a couple of years ago, yeah, like I want to get into one of those tough training camps and all that. These days, maybe he still wants to. If he wants to do it, I'll watch it. But at 44, I could understand where.
But you
maybe
know
he
who
doesn't
could be
wanna get into
interesting?
that.
Fred, you know who could be interesting? Someone that we were talking before the show started. I would watch it to see a guy who's in Montreal right now, who's not too far away from your gym, Vito Belfort versus GSP in a grappling match. And they both came from the same team in jiu-jitsu in the original days. They're both BTT guys. That would be interesting to see.
I mean, Khabib, like a natural rival to GSP would be great. Khabib versus GSP in a grappling match or something
Yeah,
like
that
that.
I would. People
That
would
would
pay
be
big
great.
time for that.
Yeah.
Like honestly speaking, people would pay to watch that.
Yeah, I think people would, but like again, at 44, I think the window of even doing that is kind of like
For jiu-jitsu, but
Vitor Belfort, like I don't know.
Did you see him? Listen, I saw his picture with Richard Ho at the H2O. And let me tell you, man. I mean, look, Vito always looks like in top shape, and there's no like restriction to anything to help with the enhancement of his jiu-jitsu physique.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy looked great, you know,
Yeah.
and
But why
know,
would
this
George
could-
want to get into that
Yeah.
after leaving the
as a-
UFC and saying he wanted to clean the sport?
Yeah. Why would he
Yeah,
want to
but I'm just
go
saying
face somebody who's probably on a bunch of stuff? 48 years old, jacked to the gills, like Vitor Belfort. Come on. I don't know.
So is
that
George.
doesn't
George is
that doesn't
jacked to the
excite me.
gills.
I don't need to see GSP do that in a grappling match. Like, I don't know.
I'd find it interesting.
You find a lot of things interesting. You find basically like two guys fighting on a street corner you're watching. You don't
Actually, it happened this week. You're right, dude.
and you
I
sat
gotta
there and
admit.
just watched. You got the popcorn.
I did,
you were
man.
ready.
I was
Yeah.
actually, it was close, man. I was thinking the exact same thing. Where's my popcorn? Let me watch this.
Yeah. So there's my
Got
point.
nowhere, by the way. They both
If
suck.
AJ had the opportunity of going live by himself, he would go live in those situations.
Yeah, he would. He
Yeah.
just doesn't know how to he can't figure out how to do it technologically.
Me and Johnny, man.
Fred, can you
Live
do me
on
a
the
favor?
streets.
I think your mic is like it's like overmodulated. Is there a way you can lower the volume and then we'll boost your volume up another way? Is there? Can you do that?
You need.
You're
You got a little
asking
bit too
lot
much
right now.
Vitor in
Yeah,
there.
I know. We're gonna do some live mic testing during the show. It's very exciting stuff. We've got Jon Jones coming up for you. We're gonna talk about. I mean, he's not on the show, but he's gonna talk about. We'll talk about him. He's
You
been
could
on the
bring
show
him on the
before.
show.
Years ago. He's been on the. He's been on the show. AJ. I've had Jon Jones on this show.
Yeah,
Ringside
you
Report
interviewed him as
MMA.
well, right?
Yep.
You did an interview with him as well.
It's a long time.
Like you've
ago.
been involved. Like you know what most people don't
There you
realize,
go.
Dave.
Perfect. Hold on.
You've been involved
Hold on,
in a
AJ.
lot
Hold
of
on.
interviews.
Let me get a
What's
Fred
happening?
mic test here. Hold on. Fred, give me a mic test.
Testing.
No, do it in French. Do
Yeah,
it in
see,
French,
it's good.
I see.
It's good now. We just need to raise Fred's volume. Can we do that on the production side now? Can we get Fred's volume
Vitor.
up a little bit? Or can I do that myself? Can I just go
Get
up
it up,
here?
Freddie.
Fred, give me another one.
Testing.
Ooh,
That's still a
Viagra's
little-
kicking
It's a
in.
little distorted.
good.
There's like a modulation issue. Something with the mic.
'Cause
Right?
on my end, he sounds pretty good.
He does? Maybe it's my headphones.
Yeah.
I'm getting the notes from the production. I don't know what's happening. All right. We'll move on. It's okay, Fred. We'll figure it out. It's no big deal. So GSP, I think, is mostly retired. Is Jon Jones retiring? What's the situation? here?
Probably.
Let's get right into it.
No, he said that he was just like shooting it off the cuff. He's not retired. He's just taking a break. That's exactly what he said.
Shooting it
Um,
off the cuff?
Yeah, he's just shooting it off the cuff. He's just throwing. I don't know why he would say it. Maybe he was upset. Maybe who knows? Could have been the whole Diaz thing. He was pumped. He is in Russia, by the way, and we know the last time we had a Russia update with Jon Jones years ago, it wasn't that great.
He's in
right?
Thailand. He's in Thailand.
He's in Thailand right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was in Russia.
No. Jon Jones.
Well, he's staying in, yeah.
Jon Jones says, I don't know if I want to call it retired. I feel like I'll always have an ability to pop out and show him. Little Kendrick reference there. I've had many breaks throughout my career. My identity outside of fighting is well intact. I'm genuinely enjoying life. I'm growing in different ways. My identity outside of fighting is well intact.
Let's hope it's not sideways he's growing.
I hope it is. So there it is. He's not calling it retired, but he says I'll always have an ability to pop out and show them. So if he needs to, he'll come out and fight and beat somebody up. But it doesn't seem like he wants to be an active heavyweight champion from that statement. And there are other statements from Jon Jones that I want to get to here because he made quite a few statements on Twitter X.
Twitter X, exactly.
Here's another one that I found particularly interesting. A reply to this guy, Harris Iqbal. John says, this guy says, yes, otherwise you'd have vacated the belt a long time ago because you don't plan to fight Tom. Jon Jones says, y'all barking up the wrong tree. I told the UFC my plans a long time ago. I have no clue why they haven't shared them with you guys yet.
Okay. What's the plans?
What's the plan?
Spit it out, man.
Well, the plan is to not fight Tom Aspinall, I think. I think the plan is to chill out, watch Tom Aspinall, see if he becomes somebody worth fighting, and then coming back and beating him in a couple years if he feels like it. I think that's the plan. That seems to be the obvious plan from everything Jon Jones has said about this fight in the past. It feels like he doesn't think Aspinall is worthy of fighting at this point, which, fair enough. You're Jon Jones. Your legacy is intact. You're the greatest of all time. Is it worth it to come back and fight Tom Aspinall, who, and I'm going to repeat this because I think it bears repeating, his last fight was the co-main event of a pay-per-view headlined by Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad. So Tom Aspinall is no big draw that Jon Jones wants to come back and risk his legacy for, because he's not really a big money fight as far as generating pay-per-view. UFC probably offered him a big money offer to fight Aspinall, but Jon Jones has a lot of money, and you weigh that against the legacy, and at this point, it's probably not worth it.
Okay, so if that's the case, then Jon Jones is retired, because you're right that Aspinall co-main evented his last pay-per-view, but at the same time, Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall is the biggest fight you could make right now for Jon Jones. Like, what other fight could you make for Jon Jones that would draw more than Aspinall Jon Jones? Like, I don't think a Pereira fight right now would be any bigger. I think the talk of Aspinall versus Jones is big enough that it should be the fight to make. So I'm gonna blame mostly the UFC for not delivering on this, man. If it's a money issue, man, pay the man, pay Jon Jones. If I'm not sure what it is, but it's the UFC that should be delivering on this, man. I'm gonna say, like, UFC's coming up short, like they've come up short often in recent months, years, man. They're not giving us the big fights that we want, man. Pay the man.
Yeah, but what if it's not about money? Yeah, see, your audio does sound weird, Fred. Even Johnny North is saying you sound like distorted or something. It's like you can't lower the volume on your mic. It didn't work.
I did, man.
Yeah, it was better before.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like maybe at a certain distance from the mic too. I feel like when you get close, it gets bad. But when you're at a distance, like talk at a distance from it.
Testing.
Yeah, it sounds better when you're further away. Maybe you're just too close to it. And yeah, see, so if I have the same mic as you, right? And I think when I get too close, yeah, you hear that? When I get too close to it, it gets like distorted. I think you want to just be a little further away. I think that's all it is.
Maybe, but I mean...
Yeah, you're good now. See, it sounds perfectly fine now from this distance.
But I've always talked like that, so I think there's probably something else.
Yeah.
You know what? When you think about it, like Jon Jones...
Sorry, Fred. Totally distracting from what's going on. But I think you're making a good point about Jon Jones.
Look, he hasn't fought since UFC 309. Fight. It's 6 months the guy's been out of the game. And it's not fair to Tom Aspinall to be put to the side while his prime is like going by. The guy needs to fight. He was probably the longest interim champion.
Long. But Jon Jones been out for 6 months. People are acting as if Jon Jones hasn't fought in 3 years.
No. I mean, but the thing is that if you're saying that you don't want to, which is great. But it was 6 months ago. But if you're not wanting to fight, it's not fair to Tom Aspinall. And he says he's living well in Thailand, and I can see that, I was going to throw in a joke, but,
But I think this is not Jon Jones's fault. I think we're blaming, the wrong person here. Jon Jones
says you gotta step back.
He told the UFC his plans.
So then tell the rest of us your plan if you told the UFC. There's a lot of plans with the UFC.
Doesn't want to reveal that plan for some reason. Because
why
if they
is he
did, they
under
would
disclosure?
Have.
No, they're just holding it back because they don't want to put out the air out of the balloon because they're hoping that Tom Aspinall is gonna fight. But it looks like Jon Jones is busy, on the Thailand Strip.
Who do you think is holding up this fight?
With the later boys.
What? Come on, man. This is not.
Listen, you gotta get some of these heavyweights. You gotta get some of the top 15 heavyweights to start fighting more often in the fight.
Exactly. They gotta fight each other.
They gotta start fighting each other. look, there's some really good names that we're not seeing. We're not looking at Jilton Almeida. We're not looking at Shamil Gaziev. We're not looking at Polar Bear Spivak. We're not looking at like all these guys that are there. There's Vadim Nemkov. There's all these guys that are big. They're all big dudes with a lot of wins behind them, and we're not building up the hype. If we had like 5 guys on the top heavyweights right now, we wouldn't be talking about Jones. We'd be saying, you know what, Jones, stay there till they beat it out within each other. And if there's one guy that can stand the test of time and stay in the heavyweight division and defend that title, then he could step into fight as a retirement fight. But you've got like great guys. You have Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Yeah. We don't need to.
So many
guys, those guys
man.
aren't great. They're not heavyweight champions. Come on,
bro. They're there. They've got wins.
They're there. They're just there. They're nobodies.
We want to
Not
see
really.
Jon Jones, and again, it's the UFC. Give us the fights we want to see. Like when the UFC 315 happened, people were like talking about the UFC being in a down period, and you know what? There's some truth to that, man. Just get the fights done. Dana White used to be the guy that got fights done, and fights aren't always getting done now.
Yeah. But I just think that this is a fight that doesn't make a ton of sense for Jon Jones. I think he looks at Tom Aspinall as a guy who's big, young, and dangerous, and just maybe not worth the risk of the legacy at this point. And if Aspinall becomes a bigger draw and a bigger name, maybe he would come back and fight him then. Let Aspinall go through a couple wars. Let Aspinall have a couple tough fights, and then we'll see.
Well, I don't disagree, but then just vacate the title, which I do think Jon Jones, like, if you don't plan on fighting, you should probably vacate the title.
I think it's up to the UFC. I think it's up to the UFC. I think he would vacate the title if the UFC wanted him to, but they don't want him to because they keep calling and saying, John, how about Aspinall in November, Madison Square Garden? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I think he should fight somebody else. And they just keep coming back to him with the Aspinall fight because people are putting so much pressure. Like, it's something going on internally in the UFC where maybe, Ari Emanuel's calling Dana and saying, oh, this is the fight everybody's talking about. Are we going to make it happen? Let's make it happen. And somebody in the UFC is stuck on Aspinall and Jon Jones, and they think that they can persuade Jon Jones into accepting the fight. Like, that's what it seems like to me. Because when Jones beat Stipe, he was already talking like, unless you offer me stupid money, I don't think Aspinall's really worth it. I'm more interested in Pereira. And if that doesn't happen, then I'll just leave and not fight. That's what he said. And then Dana's like, oh, no, we're going to get him to fight Aspinall. And Aspinall's like, yeah, I'm going to fight Jones. And Jones is like, no, I don't think so. And then Pereira's out of the equation. He loses. And then, Jones doesn't really have an opponent. He's the greatest of all time. I already heard somebody, I forget who, saying like, oh, I think it was Daniel Cormier saying like, oh, his greatness is going to be eclipsed so easily. Like, he's the greatest now, maybe, but he won't be the greatest for long, and somebody else will come along. And I'm like, pardon me? He's been on top, undefeated for like over a decade. No one will ever do that again. Jon Jones is the greatest ever, and he'll be the greatest ever, forever and ever. And he can retire now with that intact.
As good as Topuria or Islam is, they'll never be as good as Jon Jones, man. They'll be great. They'll be Hall of Famers, but they won't have the career that Jon Jones has had.
Nope.
With all the controversy too, I mean, he managed to battle it and still be like on the top of the food chain, which is impressive. Look, I always got on like Jon Jones' back, like in a sense, always like, giving him a hard time in a sense. But, I got to agree with both of you. He is the greatest fighter that ever stepped into the octagon. And we're going right back to UFC 1. And I give a lot of credit to the early guys, the Gracies and whatnot. But no one's done what Jon Jones has done. And, I hope at some point in the UFC, in the future of the UFC, because it's only getting better, in my opinion, that there could be somebody like a Jon Jones in the future, you know? But it's going to be hard, man. You know, how many years? Like over 20 plus years, man, of fighting, and you're still on top of the throne? You're the king, man.
I'll
No
be
one can
honest.
dispute it.
I think I want him to retire.
So
I
do
want
I,
him
in a
to
sense.
retire. I think like
Yep.
the greatest ever, undefeated, on top, healthy, wealthy, still in demand, still, young, retire. Like there's no need, like beating Tom Aspinall does nothing for Jon Jones' legacy. It doesn't add anything. Just another fight.
I mean, it does for Aspinall, for sure.
But losing to Tom Aspinall, that sucks to go out like that. That's not a great way to go out. And I don't think that UFC fighters need to be going out like that. I don't think they need to be going out, losing, and then trying to chase it, coming back, losing again. Why? So many guys fall into that trap. And Jon Jones is better than all of them, but doesn't mean he can't fall into that same trap. He's human. He's in his mid-30s, late 30s at this point. Like, there's a limit. He should retire. This is a good time. Unless the UFC offers him like $100 million for this fight. There's no reason to take it.
Well,
He's
it
got
could happen.
everything. There's no reason to take it.
Dave, I mean, if the rumors are true that I keep hearing, like from the outside, I keep hearing rumors that, Dubai and Qatar and that world is ready to buy the UFC. If that happens, I can see that $100 million fight. So I'm just telling you, there's rumors that they're looking to take over and bring the UFC to Dubai.
What?
I mean, that's what I heard, man. I've been hearing it this week from some sources, and
sources.
Yeah.
Did somebody give you an airplane too? What's happening?
Listen, man. If they would, I would take it.
Yeah, of course you would.
Ringside Report, man. Johnny.
Oh, you guys would.
Johnny's.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Sure.
Look, listen. I agree with you on one thing. Is that if he walks away, which I don't want. I want to see Jon Jones still fight. But if he does walk away, he is amongst the best combat fighters in any combat sport. He's on the top of the food chain. I think he's even above Mayweather, above George Foreman, above Muhammad Ali. And I love Muhammad Ali. He's my favorite. But no one's done what Jon Jones has done, So
yeah, but Ali, kind of a
but Ali lost, man. But he's not Ali in the sense, but he's up there. When you look at as a fighter, dude, you can't compare.
As a fighter, maybe I think you could compare, but
Well,
I think you could compare
like,
as a fighter Ali and Jones. But as a person, as a human being, I think Ali would be better.
Well, Ali is like the king,
objectively,
for sure.
Much better than Jon Jones as a human being. I got way more respect for Muhammad Ali, but as a fighter, I think they're both incredible.
Yeah.
Both incredible.
You know what I'm saying? He's up there.
I mean,
so if
during
you
his
step
career,
away, man,
he was pretty pulverizing, Muhammad Ali. He wasn't really liked during his career. A lot of people disliked
by some people.
No.
A lot of racists didn't like him.
both sides, dude. There's a lot of guys that look.
No,
man.
Okay,
no, it goes both ways, man.
Okay,
it was more about him not wanting to participate in the war.
Yeah,
and people being very patriotic.
Yeah.
So,
well, are we going to debate whether or not the Vietnam War was a good idea, Fred? Because I think probably
but I don't
not.
see it. No, but how does that have to do with racism? Like,
well, there were a lot of people that didn't like him because he was black.
Listen, man.
In the 60s in America,
there was there were people like way back before Muhammad Ali. You go all the way back to Jack Johnson and all of them.
There was segregation and shit like that, Fred. You know what I mean? What?
I think the conversation's a little more deeper than that, but
I mean, there was part of it though was definitely racism for sure.
Yeah, Johnny's right. There was a lot of jealousy on Ali at the time. Absolutely. But you could even go further back
and started to idolize him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people ever stop being racist. AJ, speaking of, Johnny says, name the sources.
I can't, dude. I can't. Maybe
Fred,
I
AJ
will.
has sources telling him that the UFC is going to be bought by the Saudi Arabians.
Not right now, but it's gonna happen. It's like they're in talks, dude.
How would they do that?
Wouldn't that be a listen, man?
They
They've
would
bought
just
over
buy
just
the
about
UFC,
everything.
not WWE, or are they buying both here, AJ? What are your sources?
I'm not
telling you?
like, look, all I heard was the UFC, so I'm
Wow.
not sure where that's going.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, we'll see. Remember, AJ said a few things and they've come true, so I'm just saying it's a possibility and it makes sense. It makes sense. And if it does, dude, think about it. If it does, look at all the other sports that they've bought over, right?
It would
and
be
they're
cool
looking right now.
if they bought it for one reason. Like,
what?
they are willing to spend money, right?
That's true.
They could make fighters, like, really rich. How much did Ronaldo get to go play over there?
Oof. I'm not
Like
sure,
a lot,
Freddie,
right?
How much?
Like $100 million a year, something like that.
Right?
Crazy, man. That's crazy, man.
So if they could offer Jon Jones, like, 75 to fight Aspinall, he might take that. That's a lot of money. They might be able to get fights to happen. How much do you think UFC offered Jon Jones to fight Tom Aspinall, Fred?
I'd say 50.
50 million?
I'd say 50. Yeah, I'd say 50 million and he'll take it.
You think they're offering 50 million for one fight?
No.
I don't think there's a chance in hell they're offering that much. What do you think the most is they're throwing at a guy?
Bro, 50 million for them is like a drop in a bucket.
Yeah,
Let's
but
be
they're not
honest.
going to give it to a fighter.
To Jon Jones?
It's not a drop in the bucket right now. Like the pay-per-view, I know they get a fixed number from ESPN, but
Yeah.
if Jon Jones has any type of like pay-per-view deal points, he's not getting much because the pay-per-view sales aren't great. Even like Jon Jones versus Aspinall, how many pay-per-views would that really sell? 700,000, maybe 1 million. It's not selling more than that.
1 million is good, though. 1 million is really good buy.
Yeah, but he's not getting $50 million.
No.
He's
50 I
he's
think
lucky
is
to
crazy,
get
AJ.
15. I'd say 15.
Yeah.
15. It'd be embarrassing for them. They wouldn't want to look bad. Remember, these people are all about power, man. And 15 million is like an insult. It's like, what are you trying to make me look poor? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's all about the image, too. Listen, 100 million for Ronaldo.
Bro,
Jon Jones, the greatest fighter.
I'd fight
but
Jon
we're
Jones for
talking
15
about the
million,
UFC.
though, for real. That's not an
We're
insult.
talking about the UFC. It's not about like the Saudis or whatever.
Well, if the Saudis take over, let's just say the Saudis, and Johnny just brought up a comment. It's true. Like the WWE has a sweet deal with the Saudis right now. I mean, there's a lot of talk. And I heard, they're looking to redevelop boxing, in Dubai. So, look, there's a lot of possibilities that might be happening, And I think 15 million, they would go a lot higher than that. That's for sure. For a Pereira.
Wasn't there a deal
Jones
with the
fight?
Saudis where they're promoting the next Canelo fight, and then they had Dana White promoting it, and then they took the promoting away from Dana, and now it's somebody else doing it? You guys see something about that? Fred, you saw that, right? What happened?
I'm not sure.
Dana was
not
like,
sure what happened,
but like Dana had that job, right? He was gonna promote a Canelo fight, and then the Saudis were like, no, we're gonna give it to somebody else. What happened? Did Dana screw up? Why? Like, or maybe he just decided like, I can't. I think it was supposed to go up against a UFC pay-per-view, and Dana maybe said, yeah, it's not gonna work for me.
Dana needs to concentrate on the UFC, man, because like I said earlier, a lot of fights are not getting done.
Yeah. A lot of fights aren't getting made, right? Like we talked about
That's
it
the
last
problem.
week. Ilia Topuria is fighting Charles Oliveira, not Islam Makhachev. And Islam Makhachev is fighting what's his name?
JDM.
But the fact that the welterweight champion, new welterweight champion, his name isn't just coming to mind, means problems. You know what I mean? I know it's Jack Della Maddalena. I know him.
Okay.
I think I can picture him in my mind.
But I'm gonna say the welterweight division right now is in a very good place, man. There's some good talent, whether it's Shakhtar, whether it's Ian Gary, Sean Brady, there's Buckley. There's some fights to be made. There's some stories to be written here. Is it as good as GSP? No, but the division right now is very interesting.
Yeah, but I think the problem with the welterweight division is there's no clear number one. There's like a lot of guys that are good, and to me, the guy who is number one is Shavkat, and they're not giving him the title. You know? It's like it's been a couple years now where I'm like, how come this guy isn't getting the title shot? He's clearly the best.
I mean,
he's undefeated.
He should be next in line because that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, you got Sean Brady as well, guys.
But yeah,
you have Sean Brady.
Sean Brady is solid also, I think.
Yeah, he's solid,
I think Shavkat is better. And like,
well, then you set up a fight between Sean Brady and Shavkat.
They were talking about like Jack Della is supposed to fight Islam next, right? So you talk about all these other guys, Fred. They don't matter right now because they're not getting the shot at Jack Della. It's Islam, which is weird. Like no one, like you said, UFC doesn't make the fights, right? Like we were calling for Islam and Topuria, right? And we don't get that. And
I've been calling for guys to defend their title.
Yeah, and I mean, are we getting that? Kind of.
Islam as in, who has he defended the title against? Like Volkanovski twice, and like there's
Moicano.
still guys
fucking Moicano, dude.
Exactly, there's still guys that he should be fighting at 155.
Yeah, well, he never fought Sarukian. Like, that was supposed to be the fight. Sarukian gets hurt. Moicano steps in for some reason. Islam beats him, obviously. And then Sarukian... And then Islam goes, oh, I've beaten everybody. I'm leaving to welterweight now. Sarukian's like, wait. You know? Like, So, I mean, there's going to be a champion crowned at the end of June, Fred. There'll be a new lightweight champion because they vacated that. So it'll be Topuria versus Oliveira, which like no one was asking for. And even the fact that Oliveira is fighting for the belt, it's like, why is he fighting for the belt? There are other guys, like, why isn't Sarukian fighting for the belt?
So let me throw you this scenario. Like right now, I love Volkanovski, but Topuria is the real featherweight champion. And like if Oliveira wins the lightweight title, it'll be another champion where you're like, is he really the champion?
Yeah. The only championship that might stay real is the welterweight championship, at least in this whole clusterfuck of division vacate. Like Topuria vacated featherweight, so now we got a fake featherweight champion. Islam vacated lightweight, now we got a fake lightweight champion. Thankfully, Jack Della is the lineal champion at welterweight, so he can defend against Islam, and it can be kind of legit. And that's a good fight. Like, I'm not convinced Islam wins that fight at all. Jack Della's takedown defense was real good against Bilal, so, we'll see. But I just, like, that's not the fight I really wanted. I don't want to see Jack Della try and defend Islam's takedowns because Islam is a 155er going up to 170. I want to see Jack Della try and defend Shavkat's takedowns.
But the problem is Shavkat is ranked 7th, Dave, and that's there's a problem there. He's ranked 7th, and you got guys
stupid. I don't care about the rankings. Fuck the rankings.
Yeah, but it makes a difference.
The most egregious part of the whole thing is that people were saying that Ian Gary, even the UFC, they had like a poll. Who should be next for Jack Della? Ian Gary, Sean Brady, or Joaquin Buckley? And I'm like, how are you going to put Ian Gary on this list when Shavkat just beat him? You don't even put Shavkat on the list of potential challengers. That's what's really offensive about the whole thing, is that Shavkat seems like he's not even in the mix anymore. Garbage.
Yeah, which is weird. It's
all
weird. I
trash.
agree with you.
We're getting no good
There could
fights.
be something. There
Nothing
could be something
good.
behind the scenes that we don't know about too, but it doesn't make sense.
We'll
Then you
also
got
get
other
no
guys who
Conor
got-
McGregor in 2025. Dana White says he hasn't spoken to Conor, and he's not fighting anytime soon. He hasn't
Connor's
spoken.
looking at politics, man. Yeah. Isn't that crazy, man?
Why isn't he talking to him?
Dana's setting up meetings with, the Saudi government, man. He's too busy for Conor.
Okay.
There's bigger money than Conor right now. That's why he's busy.
Okay. Nate Diaz was on a TV show in Russia. He was like coaching a Ultimate Fighter style show, and he got into some kind of brawl. Can I show this?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's public.
But it's like not. It's not. It's public. Do you understand how? It's
Listen, man, you're not like
public.
you're showing it
What
live.
does that
you don't have to,
mean?
man. Everybody else does.
That's not how these
Like
things
you have-
work.
Well, he was a
Shared
bit, from what I heard, he was a bit
display.
edgy before he had that, sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, that press conference meeting kind of thing. So he already had a beef with some other Russian guy. And then this Russian guy, Zalik, wanted to sort of play fight with Diaz, and Diaz didn't find it
So this
funny, and
is
he just
like
went wild.
footage that Jake Shields shared. So there's
Yeah,
Nate
let's take
right
a look at
over
that.
here. There's a Russian guy in front of him talking, kind of play fighting. He's going to throw a push, and then Nate goes after him,
Oof.
and then these guys go after him, and things
wild
kind of
tiger.
erupt. And then Nate's guy over here is going to throw a punch. This guy here,
Oh, that
he's
guy.
going to throw a punch at the guy. Bam!
Oh, wow.
That's
Bam.
Nate's guy with the represent shirt. And then he just backs away. Watch him back. He's like, who punched me? Who punched me? And he's like, oh, I'm going to stand behind all these guys now.
Yeah, sucker punch, dude. That's not
Yeah,
cool.
he kind of sucker punched him. It's not cool. Nate had to leave the show and the country after this. There's Jon Jones over
Are you
here. See,
serious?
there's Jon Jones in the mix.
Jones all nice and relaxed.
What does
Yeah,
Jones
look at him.
do? Jones does nothing.
Nothing.
Jones is just
He
watching.
doesn't give a fuck.
Does he
Just
watch?
watching.
He's just standing
Kind of
there.
like AJ watching the guys fighting.
This is Jon Jones
He's like,
over here, and
okay.
he's like kind of getting involved, but not really. He's
No,
just
he's
watching
just
it all
standing
go
back.
down. Jones and Nate kind of standing
But
back.
that guy, man, that guy really threw one. But why would
Only
Nate have
thing
to
missed
leave
it.
the country?
I don't know if he had to leave the country, but he had to leave the show.
Only-
First day of filming, he's supposed to be like one of the coaches on the show, and it's like a brawl. One of his guys sucker punches. It's crazy, you know? Come on.
Yeah, but like I
Only
said,
thing
apparently
missing
he
is-
was on the
is-
edge.
Only thing missing is Gus Johnson saying, these things happen in MMA.
Yeah.
You don't remember the CBS?
Guys, we're
When,
on national
they ha-
television. We're on national television. Just telling them they're on national television.
happen in MMA.
Yeah. But that was so funny, man. When they start fighting on CBS, like the Diaz brothers jumping on him, right? Jumping on Jason Miller and all that. It was a long time ago. It was on CBS. It was the first time MMA was ever on network TV, which is so funny. And the guy gets on the mic as they're fighting. Gentlemen, we're on national television. Gentlemen, we're on national television. He just can't. He doesn't know what to do. Gentlemen, we're on national television. It's like, we don't care,
That's
bitch.
gonna work with the Diaz.
Yeah, the Diaz brothers are like, oh shit, man, we're on national television. Let's fucking get out of here, man. What the fuck? Like, what? Like,
Let's wrap
what do
it
you
up,
think's
man.
gonna happen, dude? Fuck you, national television. Stop it, you know? What are you saying? Gentlemen. They're like fighting in the cage, like 5-on-1. Gentlemen. They're gentlemen still. Fucking crazy.
He tried, man.
Yeah,
He
he
tried.
tried to keep it cool. Gentlemen, we're on national television. And then he repeated it because he's like, they must not have heard me. It's like, nah, they didn't care. We all heard you on TV, and everybody heard you. And it sounded weird. It sounded like everything is out of control right now.
You should find that clip,
These
man.
things
That would be
happen
funny
in
right now.
MMA.
Oh, I can't show that. Oof. Can I
that'd
show
be
you
funny,
this,
man.
though? Can I show you Umar Nurmagomedov with his video of where they're training now? The Nurmagomedovs in Dagestan. The music is sick.
What?
Look at
The
this
hell?
shit.
Is it a Buddhist monastery?
This is where they're training, in the mountains of Dagestan. Like, in this little building,
Jesus.
I think. They have, like, an outdoor facility. But, like, this is how secluded the Nurmagomedov team is. This is Umar shared this video.
What the hell, man? That's amazing. These guys don't fool around, man. That looks like a pretty big facility there. What
Pretty
the heck,
crazy.
man?
Pretty crazy stuff here.
Does it go in more?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, keep.
But then they
Look
kind
at
of fly
this.
over it. Like, they don't show you that much. But, like, look at that.
The hell, man.
Look at that. It's
is that?
middle of nothing. Just in mountains. This is
Jesus.
where they're training.
Looks like a little soccer field there.
There's everything there.
What the hell, man? That thing is huge.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, these guys are not fooling around.
Yo, man, they take that UFC money and they reinvest in some primo real estate in the mountains of Dagestan for a sick training facility. Look at that. It's 4
Jesus.
buildings, 4 or 5 buildings. I think that's 5 buildings. Well, this looks like some sort of like living quarters. They've got outdoor gyms. They've got
Wow.
indoor gyms. They've got everything.
Think
Sick.
about the killers they're gonna produce, man.
The
in years to
mountains of
come.
Dagestan, baby. This is where
Wow,
this
these guys
is where
are
the
serious, man.
best of the best are made.
That's insane, man. That's
Cool, right?
Khabib world right there.
Yeah. That's right.
Jesus, it's scary, man.
And finally, guys, the fight you never thought you would see, you probably won't see, but you're seeing it on the internet. Chael Sonnen versus Islam Makhachev. Have you seen this?
What?
They're beefing. So, wait, hold on. Let me go back.
He
back
pisses
and
off
show
like
you how this
Brazil,
all...
Chael. He pisses
Chael.
off Dagestan.
and Islam, okay? UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev responds to Chael Sonnen after he said he was a coward for moving up to welterweight. And Islam said, chasing hype and money is not the same as chasing greatness in sport. But average athlete who built his way to the top with cheap trash talk won't understand that. So please
Ooh.
seat and watch how others doing it, Uncle Chael, #DoubleChamp. Oof. Chasing hype and money
That's a
is not
pretty
the
good-
same as chasing greatness in sport. But
Well,
average
that facility-
athlete Chael, who built his way to the top with cheap trash talk. And now Chael, not happy about that, obviously.
Oof.
When you're tired of rolling around, I was going to do the Chael. I can't do it.
Yeah,
in
do it,
front of-
man.
It wasn't bad. In front of bored
wasn't bad.
crowds and drawing fewer viewers than a hog hollering contest, get in touch. You won't be the first guy from your gym who begged me for material.
Ooh.
Winky face. So Chael is alleging, Chael has gone in on Islam. He's gone in with several tweets because this is what he's doing now. Chael, wow, Chael went in on Islam. In fact, it wouldn't be the first time your guy and the other guy, other Irish guy, both use material they begged me to give him to become interesting. So he's saying that Khabib and Conor both begged him to feed them lines to be interesting.
I believe.
I don't
And
know
he
if I
says,
believe it.
and check your magazine before you try to... Wait. Oh, here we go. It's a 2-part. So don't be shy and don't pick fights with me to get my attention. Your hero is my acolyte. So is his nemesis. So are you. And check your magazine before you try to fire, sonny boy. It's empty. You believed a rumor. Okay. I don't know what that means.
What? I don't understand what that means.
I don't get that one. But Chael going after Islam Makhachev. Why not?
That's Chael, man.
Well, Islam said
He
some
brings
mean
on
things
the
about him.
hype.
He called him average athlete.
That's
Chael
he called
never
him
lost
average.
a round.
Yeah, he never lost a fight, I think, according to Chael. So,
Never lost a round.
yeah.
yep.
In what kind of world can you beat up a man for 5 rounds? He wraps his leg around your head, and they call him the winner. That's the fucking best. I go, yo, Chael, you tap, man. What do you mean? There's a triangle choke.
Triangle
He armbarred
and
you,
armbar
bro.
at the same time.
Yeah, he armbarred you and choked you. You were barely conscious. You tapped. What kind of world? Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. It's fucking great, man. Chael was the best. He was nuts. He did really trash talk his way into several title fights, though. Remember when he fought Jon Jones for no reason in particular? Like, why did he was not the number 1 contender. He was Chael. And he did his thing with Anderson, came up short, so they're like, let's keep riding this train. Everybody loves Chael or hates him.
He was a division lower. He wasn't the contender, and he was not even in the same weight class.
Yeah, but they did the Ultimate Fighter because Chael is a personality, so they had a fight. Chael was great. Chael is great. I love Chael.
Still
but he
great,
lies
man.
about a lot of things. He embellishes. I'm not going to say lies. It's a gimmick.
He brings on the hype, man.
Chael is a gimmick, and he always has been. So you got to
Yeah, but
take what he
he's-
says
but
with
you
a
see-
grain of salt. But
But
I
look,
love him.
he's still relevant, right? He's still
Of
there.
course.
He's still part of the game. He's like,
Yeah.
even though he's not fighting, he kind of like puts oil on the fire. I mean, this guy is amazing. Like Chael
Yeah.
Sonnen, man. He knows the game.
Yeah, he does. He's got good insights. Sometimes, a lot, most of the time.
A lot
Once
of
in a while,
times.
I go,
Yeah,
"Come
most
on,
of the
Chael, what the
times.
hell are you talking about?" But most of the time, he's doing all right. I like Chael Sonnen.
Love to have him on our show, man.
I did not like him when he was
Great.
fighting Anderson Silva, though. I thought he was going too far with Anderson. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't talk about the Nogueira brothers like that. I didn't like it.
I mean, he fed him a carrot. He fed the bus a carrot.
Like, now I look back and it's funny, but, like, at the time I was like, whoa, this is crazy. You can't say that about the Nogueira brothers. That's insane. It was too much. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. with Johnny North for Wrestling Uncensored. We'll talk about wrestling. We're going to preview things. WWE's got Saturday night's main event on Saturday night. And they've got AJ, your favorite. Oh, AJ, are you excited about Saturday night's main event? You should be, man. Jey Uso defending his World Heavyweight Championship against your boy, Logan Paul.
I told you he would be champion one day. No one believed me, man. No one gave me credit.
He's had opportunities before. I think he wrestled Roman for the title. Didn't win that one. He's got a match against Jey Uso for the title. He's not expected to win.
Uso's going to go down.
He's not expected to win. I don't think he'll win.
I'm telling you, he's going to win.
Okay.
I
you want to
said
bet?
one day he will.
You want to bet? I'd bet against that.
Man, he's something, man.
One word, 4 letters. Yeet!
Hey, talk about like fighters coming back. Did you hear Manny Pacquiao is coming back? The fight?
Hey, Dave and Johnny, if I am being honest,
No,
I was the first one in
this
the
guy.
entire world to say that Logan Paul is something special. Mark my words.
Yes.
Oh, I hate that guy. Every time I
That's
mention Logan
Spanish
Paul on the
AJ.
wrestling show, that guy comes in to tell me that, hey, I knew about Logan first. It's so annoying. I hate that guy.
Bravo,
I
bravo.
hate him. See, Johnny
Did you hear
knows
my
that
Pacquiao thing?
AIAJ. He hates AIAJ too. Everybody hates him. Everybody hates him. Everybody hates AIAJ.
Yeah, but he sounds like he has like a Latino accent, man.
Nah, that's how you talk.
I don't
Saturday
think so.
night's main event, we're going to preview that. Yeah, never mind. We're going to preview that tomorrow, and we're also going to preview AEW's Double or Nothing, which goes down this Sunday. So it's a nothing week in the UFC. They're not doing fights this weekend. They're back next weekend in Vegas with Aaron Blanchfield and somebody. Who's she fighting?
She's fighting Macy Barber.
Oh, yeah, Macy Barber. So that'll be next week. We'll talk about that next week. But tomorrow and this weekend, it's all pro wrestling. Big, big weekend for WWE on Saturday and AEW on Sunday. And we'll do that tomorrow night on Wrestling Uncensored here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.